I think we're here. I have Chloe Pedalino from Your Source Within, and she is helping me today. She'll read the questions. So everyone that's on, tell me where you're from, and I'm gonna take off my glasses so I can channel better. So Chloe gets to say where everyone's from. So, and I know the first question because someone asked it already, and I'm excited because we're gonna like go into channeling Gaia first off.
Okay.
So, oh, you know what I'll do first? Okay, is everyone saying where they're from? Maybe I do have
People
to.
are saying from South Carolina. Happy New Year, Tracy.
Oh, Happy New Year to everyone.
San Lorenzo, New Mexico, LA, the Bronx,
Canada, Florida. Plus, it's nice I get to see a lot of my clients. I don't want to list by name because it's private, but like, hello, you wonderful person in LA that I love so much. Trying to keep some anonymity here, but yeah. Beautiful. Washington, Vegas, ooh, India, Chicago. That's where I was born. Yay. Oh, and E, you've got the first question. How can we remain focused to develop our 5D and 8D energies? First of all, you know what I'd say is everybody has to be like you, because this beautiful woman is so frequency. Like I've seen nothing like it. I'm not even like I slip out. If you listen to my January forecast, Archangel Michael was talking about falling out of frequency and getting right back in. Well, this beautiful woman is so committed to her frequency that when something happens that almost all of us would react to or get triggered or go negative about, she just steps back, takes a deep breath, and decides she wants to stay in love anyway. And it is amazing to me. Like her capacity to stay in love is amazing to me. I aspire to that. And yes, and I'm the reader and she's the client, but I aspire to that because it's so beautiful. So it's not easy, I think, because I human really well. And so it's not easy all the time to stay in those 5D frequencies because we're human. We go on autopilot so often. And when we're on autopilot, something annoys us and we're already commenting. The other day, I was trying to pull through the parking space at the store and a big SUV whips in right when I started to go forward. So what do? I start grumbling. Oh, well, there goes my easy way out, and I'm grumbling. And it's like we automatically go into those 3D reactions. So how do you stop that? You got to start catching yourself. The more you catch yourself, the more you'll find that it happens less and less and less. So catch yourself every time. No judgment, no criticism. You can laugh, oh, I'm doing it again, or oh, look where I am, right? You can catch yourself and laugh about it, but just get right back in. And the more you get right back in that frequency, that's the longer you stay in that frequency. It gets comfortable, and that's where you are, because we have learned that the ego mind is controlling us, which means we're being controlled by our patterns, our programming, our conditioning, right? Whatever our parents or teachers said to us. And so as we're being programmed by all of that, we just go unconscious. And so it takes a huge effort. And I remember I was trying to work on a big pattern of mine, and a friend of mine that's a therapist, not you, because you're also a therapist, but a different therapist. I called her and I'm like, I did it. After I didn't blow up or have a meltdown. We'll say a mini meltdown. Okay. So after I reacted and I stated this, which I know when I say, I deserve better, that's my clue that I'm not allowing myself to be treated the way I want, or I'm not treating myself the way I want, right? That's my key sentence. And so I got upset. I said that. And then I took my step back and I redirected and I got in a better space and I was all proud of myself. And I called her and I'm like, look what I did. She's like, yeah, you were supposed to do that before you yelled the sentence. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was so proud of myself and I was still late, but I worked on it. And now when I'm about to say the sentence, I'm like, oh, I want to say this. That means I am clearly have put myself in this position because no one else can put you in that position. You know, like the wonderful client I was just talking about who works in a very stressful environment and has a lot coming at her. She stays conscious all the time. So she makes the conscious choice all the time. And the archangels are like, so for you humans, is that exhausting to stay that conscious all the time in 3D? And it's like, not really. It's just practice. You know, it doesn't have to be exhausting because the more you practice it, the more it becomes automatic. Right. So, yeah. So it's just practice makes perfect. Keep fall off the pedestal, get back up. Just keep climbing back up, keep doing it and doing it. And then one night when you're getting ready for bed, you're like, oh my goodness, that situation didn't trigger me today. I just blew right past it with love and compassion. That my marketing guy, Chris, I was on a call with him yesterday, and he said that he still uses something that I gave him years ago, which the archangels gave me years ago, which is if love and compassion were the only emotions I had access to, how would I react in this situation? And sometimes I have to tell myself that because if someone is being particularly mean or rude or manipulative or controlling, and you step back. And for me, I got Archangel Michael's sword, right? I'm the warrior. So I'm the warrior, but let me step back. I'm the warrior wearing unicorn pants. I have my cosmic unicorn pants on, just so everybody knows. May have Michael's sword, but I still got the unicorns. So it's for me as a warrior, if someone pushes me, it's my initial response to push back harder. And that's a big pattern to redo. So instead, in order to transmute that pattern is, you know, when I feel the volcano want to erupt, that's when I say, if love and compassion were my only emotions, how would I act in this situation? Because no matter what the situation is, I want to act in love. I want to answer in love. I want to stay in a place of compassion. Because when people are manipulating or controlling, most all of the time it's out of insecurity. It's out of their survival mode. Has nothing to do with me. So yeah, practice makes perfect. I'm going to take a little break, introduce these are the spheres that I hold in client sessions. They are fire and ice transformational spheres, and they really amp up the energy. So I love holding on to them. The one that I hold on to when I podcast is this guy. I don't know, Chloe, can you see on the big monitor? Can you see the angel wings on here?
A little bit.
So there are wings, angel wings, dragon wings, but there's wings on here and it's orange selenite. And it's the one that wants to be held all the time. But who I want to introduce you to is my newest fella. He calls himself Sam. And someone asked me about what's the name of their dragon. I don't usually get names. It's all about the energy signature. So when you're in session and you get a name, that's a rarity because for me, it's just about the energy signature. So this is a Vogel crystal, Vogel. If you guys want to look up Vogel crystals and Vogel the man, it's amazing. It is super high frequency and it is a smoky quartz. I was in this amazing metaphysical store. I love the guy that runs it. I'm no longer in Sedona. So for me to visit a metaphysical store that is so beautiful and authentic and has amazing things in it. He's an amazing musician and artist. My daughter and I, we love going there. So we were there the other day. Or to be honest, we were visiting the new bakery to get this new chocolate tort that I'm in love with. And so we got our desserts and we're like, let's see if the crystal shop is open. And I walked past the case and he was very loud. You're coming home with me. We got stuff to talk about. Chloe has my cat. My cat channels for Chloe, especially like Ra and Toth. And my cat channels for Chloe, and Sam will channel for me. But I haven't used him yet. So in a channeling, because he doesn't, right now, he's not vibrating to the dragons. So he's not doing dragon stuff, but he's still with me. I sleep with him under my pillow. So he's right here with me. So, okay, those are my new crystals. Now, Chloe's keeping track of the questions, but I want to start with the first one, which is a wonderful person asked about more information on a grid keeper or a grand balancer. And I have to say, the grand balancers are grid keepers on steroids. They're working, grid keepers tend to work with the land and clearing the land, not to limit them, but when I look at grid keepers, they're clearing the land so the new energies in the land can help everybody. Grand balancers do so much more. They're really working with Gaia's core crystal, working more closely with Gaia, working on the old patterns and battles and energies. And so they're doing a lot more work, not only in Gaia and on the land, because she allows us to clear her as part of our learning and growth and experiences in ascension. Okay, she's playing the game with us. So grand balancers will often go to sites where there were great battles and they'll clear the bloodshed. And sorry, this sounds gross, but I can literally see the blood coming up out of the ground, the drops coming up out of the ground and going up to the heavens. So grand balancers will heal so much strife and combat and the conquered and the conqueror and a lot of those energies. Grand balancers work with not only Gaia but the elements, air, water, earth, not just mountains and trees and streams, but the element on a whole. They work with the elementals, with everyone. So when you ask yourself, are you a grid keeper or grand balancer? The question is, do I feel compelled? And I say in my I'm pointing my podcast back then, in the podcast, there's questions to ask yourself. Are you an armchair one like me, where if I'm told clear this, I just kind of bilocate there and clear it? But a lot of other people are physical grid keepers and they get called. I mean, Chloe, now that you're traveling around, you're being called to clear this, to do that. And the more you let your intuition through, the more you're going to get the answer of, why am I here and what am I clearing here? And no, you don't need the answer. Just go do it. But we like having answers. We like having labels, right? And so it's like, okay, you want me to come here. What do you want me to do? What am I healing? What would you like me to focus on? And so grid keepers and ground balancers. So to me, grid keepers are doing this, and it's really, really crucial. Grand balancers start to work on everything. It's grid keepers plus, where you're working on humanity and the elementals and the elements. And that's grand balancer. I had a session with a new client that was a great balancer. And how do I say this without taking up too much time? It's pretty wild the way he was laying out new realities for humanity to follow. I'll say it like that. So we've got new archetypes coming online. And that's the thing, us humans, we love our labels. And for me to speak in symbols and signs and archetypes means that I get to give you more information because I'm getting it telepathically. And I can't explain it to you how it came instantly into me. It would take too long. So, and so using the archetype, and I'm seeing new archetypes come online, even with the dragons, that Earth Angel dragon, I'm seeing new things every day. Okay. Next question.
January is a transformative month. What should they expect in January and February of this year? And I don't know if they can hear me, so you might need to say it.
Okay, so what to expect, I'm grabbing my tea here, what to expect in January and February of this month. I just did the January podcast, so it's going to be turbulent if you don't pay attention. Okay, here we go. You got to have the mug, right? I'm not weird. I'm limited edition. Mm-hmm. I know. I love that. So January can be really, really turbulent. Again, it reminds me of what happened the day after the election. So don't fall for it. Any of the turbulence or the chaos, if you not hold tight, sorry, my hair gets caught on my lap. Not hold tight, never hold tight, be in flow, right? Just be in flow. But what you're focused, what you're holding on to, the archangels are telling me chasing butterflies, little kids chasing butterflies. So as you flow and you chase those butterflies of transformation, instead of being dragged into the rhetoric, you will ignore the rhetoric. Again, if there's a little kid on the playground chasing a butterfly, there could be 5 other kids on the merry-go-round and they're like, hey, come over here, jump on the merry-go-round. And that little one just ignores them and keeps chasing the butterfly. That's what Archangel Aurora is saying we should do. So your January does not have to be traumatic or turbulent or chaotic. The world may be. There's a lot of people in the world that are falling for it. And there's a lot of people in the world that are pushing it out, that are encouraging it, because I'll just say this, keep the sheep scared and they'll keep following you. So control and manipulation is not dead yet. And so there's a lot of people with that agenda, and there's a lot of people falling for that agenda. Just don't be one of them, right? Just stay focused on your dream world, because your inner world is what creates your outer world. Yeah. So that's January. February lightens up a lot. In February is when we really start to see things put into motion, start to see your, I don't know, sorry. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I went dark. I'm new to all of this because I don't do videos, so I don't know why it's going dark. But February really lightens up, and a lot of our abilities start to come online more. It gets easier in February to use your intuition, to boost your intuition, to see more and travel farther, right? So February is a real boost month for intuitive abilities, which is great. And something I didn't talk about in January is that 2025. So from what I'm still seeing in 2026, hopefully early year rather than later year, we're going to have a lot more contact. Again, what's the plan? Or is the starship landing on the White House lawn? Not so much. I can tune into any being, any consciousness, and I haven't gotten real definitive answers yet, but it's still looking like 2026 is contact, which means 2025 is the prep year. And that whole thing with the drones in New Jersey, I just saw one headline. I didn't read about it. I don't know what they said they were, but I know from my peeps, from my 8th dimensional Palladian self, and a lot of my other conscious collectives of consciousness that are my higher selves, that what it served to do is prep people for contact. We're going to see so much more of that. So remember, it doesn't matter if it's really an alien ship or it's some high school kid with a beefed up drone. It doesn't matter. What matters is the why of it. Why are you seeing it? How do you feel inside after seeing it? Because the more experiences we have, the more near misses they're saying that we have, the more we get accustomed to they're hanging out, because they're here. Like when I go right out our plasma sphere, they've been there for decades, all of the ships. Palladian, Essassani, Sirian, Orion, Arcturian, so many more than I could name. they've been outside of our atmosphere for decades, helping us, waiting for the timing to make themselves known even more. So contact is happening, and 2025 is a prep year for contact. So expect to see more phenomenon, more contact, more channelers, just more of everything. Like the theme here, the Asasani are telling me the theme is get comfortable with us. We're here. We walk among you already. You just don't notice it. Yeah. I've seen higher selves in a human's body. Like I'm like, oh, okay, that's not you. Wow. And so I've seen it myself because I can see what's inside you. So the Asasani are saying, just get comfortable because we're all around you. We're walking next to you. And when you are ready, as we would say as a humanity, but honestly, it's as a tipping point of humanity. Only 20% of you have to be ready before we land fully. And it is not governmental permission, it is consensus. So when the tipping point is ready, is when we begin to land. And yes, it'll be humanoid first. I got to say, the praying mantis people, way cool. I have a lot of fun with them, but that would scare people to see an 8-foot high praying mantis like walking on their hind legs. So the humanoids first. Yeah. And the last thing before we go to the next question is it also means that there's going to be a lot of medical technology coming up in 25 in this year, more so the second half of the year than the first half. I'm checking with several Palladian groups, and dear ones, understand that medical technology is very broad, very vast. We have the ability to give you tidbits and steps. Understand that these steps expand and expand and expand. So when we make it known to a human, to a person, to a group, to an inventor, to whomever it may be, when we present a piece of technology that we understand you, humanity, are ready for, it, well, we will say this: do not look for massive technology that revolutionizes your planet. We are not going to come in a burst and give you something in a small wand that heals everybody on your planet. That would take away from your soul journeys. Not all of you are meant to heal. Some of you are meant to leave. So it will not be this sudden burst of technology. What it will be tidbits here and there given to humans that can bring it to market that will help. So you are going to see much more technology in this year of yours that will help more people, that will be vibrational medicine, energy medicine, color medicine, and you will start seeing the differences. So those of you that are looking for the end all heal all med bed, it will not be available to the entire public in 2025. We are not here to change your journeys. We are here to support your journeys. But yes, you will see great strides in medical technology for those that want to step out of their comfort zone, step out of the manipulated system, and try things that are new, that are working for some and can work for others. Yeah. So good medical technology. I'm excited for that. I can't wait to see what comes up. Okay. Next question.
Next question is, how can we remain focused to develop our 5D and 8D?
Oh, that was a question I asked before about that's from when you get knocked off the pedestal, just get back on again. Practice makes perfect. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. The move from stay in 5D, 8D and beyond. And it's just keep practicing. When you fall off, get back on over and over and over again. You will train your brain. Most of the time with my brain, with my ego mind, they bring up something. No, it went this way 10 years ago. We can't do this because it'll go this way again. And it's like, thank you guys for keeping me safe. And I'm going to go do this anyway because I'm going to have a different outcome. So usually I just say thank you. Now, after the election, I was like, I don't want to hear it. We're not having a conversation. I am staying divine neutral. So there are very few times where I have to say, guys, shut it down, not going there. Most of the time, I honor my ego mind and I say, okay, like, thank you for your service. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for keeping me safe. Thank you for doing your job. And we're going here anyway. I've trained my ego mind that when I go into session, so it's all about moving from your ego mind to your multidimensional mind. That's why I tell people, you want to boost your intuitive abilities, wash the dishes, fold the laundry, do these rote things that are so repetitive that your ego mind just goes to sleep. Oh, she doesn't need us for this. Because the minute your ego mind steps back, like when you go to sleep at night, the minute that happens, your multidimensional mind takes over. And that's where you can bilocate and you can connect with your higher selves and other galactic beings and the archangels and the dragons. So the key is to train your ego mind to go offline. And when I go into sessions, that's what I do. I pick up my crystals. I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to work now. And my ego mind just steps right into the background because this is not a job they do. So I've trained it. Okay. What else?
What is the higher purpose of LGBTQ humans? Were they present in times like Lemuria and Atlantis? And does this exist in higher dimensions and ET race?
Oh, I like that. Okay. LGBTQ. What is the purpose? Have they existed in Lemuria and Atlantis, in other times? They have existed always. Understand that as we ascend, okay, I'll go up and down for you guys, even though it's expansion. Okay. Here's 3D, here's 5D, here's 8D, here's 10D. Okay. As we expand, we move from dualistic. Okay. So male or female, sexuality, gender, sex, the whole thing. We move from that dualistic to androgynous. And when my Pleiadian self, when they were 6th, 7th dimension, like 7th, 8th dimension, her and her beloved, they can merge together into one. So sometimes I'm talking to the collective of the two of them, and sometimes I can see them individually. So you move from dualistic to androgynous to formless to just a collective consciousness. So as far as the LGBTQ, thank you. As far as all that group of individuals have been here always. Understand, there were gay people in Jesus's time. There were polygamists in Jesus' time. There were polyamorous in Jesus' time. These segments of humanity have always existed. In fact, there are times in history where free love was practiced and there wasn't any kind of patterns in, okay, a man has to love a woman and a woman has to love a man. Those rules didn't exist at certain times and on certain planets. It's not about your beloved being the opposite sex, not at all. It's about, as a soul, when you incarnated in this life, what did your beloved decide to incarnate as? And it could be a different sex, the same sex. It could be a dog, and you could just have your pet be your beloved, like be by your side your whole life. And so it could be anything. So they've always existed. Now, do they have lessons to teach us? Oh, heck yes. My goodness. Because think about how some people get so narrow-minded, get so angry, are not open-hearted. I really feel like, and I do not in any way mean to insult anybody, but I'm just going to be honest. I feel like gay people and people, autistic people, and the angel walk-ins, incarnated angels, right? Those that resonate with angelic energy so much. Those are the 3 most difficult paths to walk, especially in this day and age. Very difficult. People with autism, the autists, again, pardon if this is insulting to you, but the people with autism have it the easiest of the three because they don't care about the outside world. They're in their world and they could give a shit about everybody else's world. They're here to show you what the world could be. Amazing people. I've worked with them a lot. Verbal, nonverbal adults, kids. They show you what is possible. They don't fall off their pedestal. Maybe on the outer realm, right? If they have outbursts or something like that, but in their inner world, if you could connect with them and see how they grid the world, what they do in frequency, healing, just amazing. But they have it easier because they don't have to walk in this world. They're in they're in their world on this world. When it comes to gay people, a lot of persecution. It's beautiful to see now that we have, marriage for everybody and such, but it's oftentimes, no matter what your particular soul journey, life path, soul mission is, you also have the greater soul mission of showing humanity that love comes in so many forms. So yes, you chose this. I'll say this, that whole thing about it's an abomination or God didn't make you. God made everybody. Okay. God is source energy, and source energy is what we're all created of. We are God. And so God made you just like he made me. So I usually don't use God. I use source and they, but it is an amazing path to walk because it takes such strength and such self-love. And I'll say this before we move on, it is a really, really effective way to live your life path. Because if your path is persecution or lack of self-love, anything like that, that's a great way to live your path, witches and gay people. It's a great way to bring that persecution energy into this incarnation so you can heal it in this life and many others. Okay. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, is there going to be a mass awakening coming for the sleepy ones? If so, what may be the trigger and catalyst moment?
Damn, is there going to be a mass awakening for the sleeping ones? And what's the catalyst going to be? Love the questions. No. So, okay. First of all, mass awakening is, we each have our own definition. What's mass? Because again, the Ascension just said they only need 20% to welcome all of the aliens when they come to the planet. So mass is subjective. And I have always seen that it is exponential, right? So the sleeping ones, okay, for the ones that are awakening, your own ascension is going to be exponential. And you could take 3 quantum leaps and then hang out in a cocoon, then take a quantum leap, then take a few baby steps. It's just, all the way. It's different for everybody, right? Ebbs and flows. And so this whole mass awakening, first of all, I spontaneously awakened over 20 years ago. I'm still human. I still do human stuff, still drive like I'm from Chicago. So it's the mass awakening doesn't mean you turn into Mary Magdalene or Mother Teresa or the Dalai Lama. You still have your human soul journey. You still have your life path to complete. So you are human and spirit, and you're just going to keep moving. Where's your focus? Are you feeling human today, or are you not humaning at all today? You're in the higher dimensions. Go you. So it's very different. So as far as mass awakening, a lot of the people that are still asleep, and remember that chasm between 3D and 5D this year is going to grow so big. Does that mean that when it's this big, no one can jump from one to the other? No, doesn't mean that. It just means that if your neighbor moves away and lives in a different state now, you're not having coffee together every morning because she doesn't live next door anymore. So the relationship has changed. That's what it means with the chasm. Can she still get on a plane and come stay with you for a week and you have coffee together every morning? Yeah. So I have never seen a mass awakening, even with the aliens. That's a mass, somewhat mass belief that we're not alone. But that doesn't mean we all pop into 5D and we're all more love and the face of the world changes tomorrow. Everything is time based here. Time is speeding up, but we're still linear and we still believe in time. So everything is still a process. So there, mass awakening, mass anything could really run the whole gamut of the scale depending on what your belief is. As far as the sleeping ones, some of them are choosing ascension a little bit later. Some of them are not choosing it. I mean, I see it every day in sessions. This person, they could change anytime, but where they're going right now, their trajectory, they're not waking up. They have no interest. A lot of people came here to experience 3D, not to experience ascension, not to experience 5D. When they're done playing in 3D, they're going home. They're going back to merge with their soul. They're dying. They're going to merge with their soul, and then they're going to hop everywhere else. Remember, it is parallel, simultaneous realities. So once you get back to soul energy, you can pop into anything, anytime. So some people did not schedule to awaken and won't. Some people will awaken at the last minute, much later than everybody else. Some people will hop aboard. So remember that chasm, the great divide, will never be too big that someone can't cross over. The purpose of the great divide is to, the archangels are telling me to purify the frequency. It is so much easier for you to remain in a band of frequency, in a dimension. So if we purify our 5D state of being, it's easier to stay there. That is why people look for their tribes, their groups. That is why it is coming home to be in a place with people that believe the same. So the Great Divide is very helpful for those that want to experience that or that. But it is not unjumpable. It is always jumpable. Okay. Next. This is fun because without my glasses, I can't read any of those questions. And so you're reading the questions and I'm not picking them. So it's like, hit me with the next one.
All right. When do you feel we will experience the solar flash of 2025 or 2026?
The solar flash. So the question is, when do we experience the solar flash? To be honest, I don't pay much attention to the solar flash. I haven't read about it. I do like Ann Tucker, but I haven't read about it. I haven't studied it at all. To me, again, I don't know if she's talking about some big flash that boom, everything is different, because this is funny. I'm going to say it anyway. We're getting flashed every day. The solar flares, all of the solar light codes coming in, we're getting flashed every day. I've talked about Stefan Burns, the geophysicist. He keeps up on all of the geomagnetic activities, the solar storms, solar flares, the asteroids that almost hit us. That stuff is happening constantly. We have a constant bombardment. So if there is one particular 3 days of darkness or solar flash that changes everything, number one, all of my peeps, my angels, my dragons, nobody's talked to me about it. And maybe it's just not my category to discuss, but I haven't heard anything about it. And this is what I have to say about it. We have our soul mission, our life path, our soul journey. So if there is some huge flash that happens and then we all find ourselves in 5D, well, then it's 3D game over. Did we complete the life paths? Did we complete the soul contracts? Our soul came here to have this experience. So to me, they're not going to schedule a big flash in the middle of the experience and boom, game over. Like, who does that? I mean, games aren't fun if you just get kicked out of it all of a sudden. So I don't see it, but we'll see, won't we? So I don't subscribe. I don't exactly know the definition of the big flash of the 3 days. Well, 3 days of darkness is a little self-explanatory, but I don't subscribe to it. What little I know about it, Everything may be exponential, but everything is happening still more linear for us. So we shall see. Now, I'll say this. If you do believe in the Great Flash or the 3 Days of Darkness or anything like that, what would you have to do to be prepared for it? Nothing. Stay in love. Intend to go through the Flash and up level. You know what the Great Flash reminds me of is in 2012 when we thought the starships were coming down. And so we got all packed, ready for the aliens to take us off this godforsaken planet. And it didn't happen. And my Palladian self did take the opportunity to laugh at me, with me. But yeah, there is no quick fix. This is 3D. We created time and space and duality and polarity for a reason. And now we're experiencing it. So to me, there is no end all be all quick flash. I mean, yes, we have earthquakes and viruses, and there are things that suddenly kill some people, but not, we just didn't sign up for an instantaneous thing. That's not what 3D is about. But I guess we'll see if it happens. Okay.
I missed this one from before.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I feeling this urgency to get on with the mission, referring to Earth's ascension? And if you can please guide about the continuous ear ringing and air pressure change. Sorry, I'm new here.
Okay. No need. Okay. So asking about ear ringing, ear pressure, feeling called to be on their mission and
to help with Earth's ascension.
Yeah, to help with Earth's ascension. And no need to apologize for being new. No question is unwanted or not as smart as others. None. So the ear ringing is the angels. The dragons are telling me they do back itching. That's funny. Where your wings would be, like the earth angels, where your wings would be, your lats, your rhomboids. Okay. Right there. They're like, they trigger it more there. And more in your solar plexus. The ear ringing is the angels talking to you, calling you up. But the really good part of the question is, why am I feeling so called to the mission, so called to save Earth? You're being called up because it's time. You've hit that pivot point in your life path, but you're being called up because you're opening is it chicken or the egg? What's first, the chicken or the egg? Because we can either feel called to do something, so we expand our frequency, or we are constantly expanding our frequency and opening up. And that's what's causing the ringing and this urge to just get with it. Now, as far as saving Gaia and crying that we're polluting Gaia so bad, that doesn't serve us. She's playing the game for us. Okay. Don't pollute. Do everything you can to help Gaia to make the world a better place. Right. But understand she's playing the game for us. And so if we get way over the top emotional about anything, any war, any battle, any way people are treated. I mean, here in the United States, look how easy it is to have water. And then you go to Africa and most of these people are walking 10 miles to get little water. There's Andrew Millman, I think is his name. Andrew Millman is oh crap, what's he called? A gardener is not it. He's a professor. Anyway, he has a YouTube channel. And so he documents, like he went to Niger and watched what they did with water, how people are changing, especially in Africa, changing the face of water. That's what you do. Instead of getting all bent out of shape about the injustices, because a lot of us have that dragon justice in us, right? And so we do get angry about it. And how dare they? And why aren't they helping others? But instead of getting bent out of shape, let that fuel you to go on your mission. So when you're feeling that calling, right? Like, oh God, I have to do something. What is this? I just feel, when you feel that, start asking questions. What am I feeling? What do you want me to do? Whether you're asking God or the angels or your soul or your neighbor, just where are you taking me? What should I do? What's in my highest good? I feel compelled to help. Explain this to me. Whatever the questions are, start asking more questions, because you are feeling the pull, the heart pull And honestly, your soul is saying the identity pull. So you're feeling the identity pull to step into superhero, put your cape on, go do something. Yeah. So that's why you're feeling all of that. You are being called up because you are expanding your frequency. You are bringing your abilities online. And your soul is very thrilled. Your soul is like, in March, you're going to be, in March is going to be a real big wake up month for you. Okay. I don't want this to devolve into personal readings. So I want to get like all of the questions for everybody.
We have 4 more and 15 more minutes. But okay, there's a couple about dragons. So
yay, dragon questions.
One's about dragons, specifically celestial dragons, which seem to this person to be universal creator dragons. Can you shed some light on what they are and do and how we can work with them?
Celestial dragons. The white dragon, the white goddess dragon from the other day is coming in. And I'm asking, and this is why I don't use video in sessions, because I'm looking everywhere when they come in. Like all of the colored dragons are lined up against the front wall of the office, but they're kind of like in the wall. They're not right in here yet, but the white dragon of divine source fire. Dear ones, understand when you are referring to the celestial dragons, the dragon energy is beautifully intertwined with the archangelic energy. So you are feeling the archangels and the white dragon collective and some of the golden dragon collectives. There are many collectives that are working in your heavens, as you would call them. Yes, it is for your ascension, but it is mostly for you to return to higher frequencies of love, self-love, love of all, and service to all. So, do you have your own celestial dragons? Yes, you will see them as white, as iridescent, sometimes as lavender and your pastel shades. They might also show up to you with angel wings rather than the leathery dragon wings you are used to. So yes, remember, as you can merge with your higher selves, many of us in the higher realities merge with each other. So we have the ability to bring you dragon and angelic energy at the same time. You will see that merging. So ask yourself, what do you want to learn? What do you want to call in? Where do you want to feel the dragon energy? And then call upon those dragons, and they will come in for you. They will work with you on the frequencies you are asking for. Understand that we of the White Dragon Collective and so many other dragon collectives, we are surrounding you so strongly in 2025. While your 2024 was a very challenging year of release, humans are not so keen on release. 2025 is the renewal period, is the period where you come in to your powers, your abilities, your greater outer and inner vision. That is why we are here supporting you, helping you to fly. Okay, she stepped back. Well, did I answer that question?
You answered that question, yeah. And just one other one that I think they kind of answered, but is asking about, they're saying, I feel a dragon presence when I work with Archangel Michael. Do they each have their own dragon form, each of the archangels? You kind of spoke to.
Oh, that is such a good question. Here, I moved my mic closer because she was talking so soft. So do each of the archangels have a dragon form? Dude, we're like, do you turn into a dragon? You have never showed me that. Archangel Michael is like, I can turn into anything you want. Remember, Michael was one of the very first ones that I met when I awakened. He came in, all the dead people came in when I awakened. They used to just line up to give messages and stuff. And I don't usually do mediumship. It's just not my thing. I leave it to the people that love it. And Michael was like this 20-year-old guy that died in a car accident. And after 3 weeks, and I talked about this on your podcast, with the Source Within, when after 3 weeks of for some reason, I just let this dead guy hang around when I made all the others leave. And when he said, do you want to know who I really am? And he asked a few times and then he showed me. And of course I reacted how sometimes I get this in comments. Why is he talking to you? How do you get to the archangels? I didn't react well. I'm like, dude, there are people suffering on this planet. Like, you don't have to waste your time with me. I'm good. Like, you got better things to do than be with me. And he's like, oh, dude, I can be everywhere at once. All of us archangels can. Many of the higher dimensionals can, everywhere at once. So I will continue to hang out with you. Now, so understand, you can be with all the dragons. You can be with all of the archangels. Let's just get inflammatory. You are God. You can go anywhere. You can be anything. You can communicate with anything. So yeah, you can hang out with all the archangels. My best friend who left the earth last year is up with Archangel Aurora, and she's clapping right now. She's like, yeah, look at her. She's back with the archangels. But you don't have to pass on to do that. You can be with them today. Okay. Do you turn into a dragon? If you wish for me to, you can see anything you wish. Yes, this is Archangel Michael, and I'm telling you, you can be and see and do anything you wish. If you wish to see a dragon with me, then there is one next to me. If you wish to see me turn into a beautiful, powerful, radiant purple dragon, then I shall be that for you. Just as I turn into the warrior with the sword for you. I can be whatever form you need or wish me to be. Now, when we step out of that conversation, I am pure frequency, as are other archangels. So, with the archangelic energy that I possess, that I exude, can it merge with dragon energy? Yes. Can it intertwine and you feel the dragon energy and the archangelic energy at the same time? Yes. That is what prompts you to see me turn into a dragon. So it is possible. So again, we get to that chicken or the egg. Are you imagining me turn into a dragon so I bring forth the dragon energy and intertwine it and show it to you? Or do I see the need within you for that power and wisdom and my sword of empowerment so that I turn into all of this in your inner vision so that you do pick up the sword of empowerment, so you do put on the dragon wings? It's entirely up to you. Take your rightful place as a creator. You are creating this reality. If you want me to merge with a dragon, I shall, and I can. Because the truth is, in the most expansive frequencies, it is all frequency intermingling with other frequencies. I am that I am, which means I am this and I am that and I am everything. I may have categories that I work with, but that doesn't mean I can't be everything else. My brother Gabriel, he doesn't have the lockdown on love. I can bring beautiful love to people. I can set down my sword and blast the love. So understand that. You humans like to believe he does this and she does that, and we all have the category, and this is about that. Merge it all together. Make a quantum soup of it, because it is not as unique as you believe it to be. We all have our individuality, our uniqueness, but we are a collective like nothing you can imagine in your third dimension. So think about that. and then bring it all into yourself. Okay, dude. Well said. High five. Okay. Next one.
Okay. Is there going to be a major Earth rift in the Indian Ocean causing major landmass and population drowning capacity?
Not that okay, is there going to be a major rift that's going to cause natural disasters that kill a lot of people? I'm paraphrasing from the question because I don't think you can hear Chloe. Not that I see. Again, natural disasters are soul contracts with a group of people. You know, World War II was a massive soul contract. An earthquake, they had an earthquake recently on Tonga, maybe. That's a much smaller, or Vanuatu, I think that's a much smaller soul contract. So to have a rift that would kill millions of people and redistribute land masses, my peeps are telling me we don't feel that you need to go in that direction, meaning humanity is not going to push it to the max like that. You know, when I look at the pandemic, that was supposed to be 3 months. And we just carried it on and carried it on. I mean, every 3 months, my Palladian collective would come in and they'd be like, y'all done yet? Apparently not. Okay, we'll give you another 3 months for like 3 years. So, you know, can things get extreme? Yes, they could if we dictate that. So my call to you is just wake up, be love, stay in your inner world and create it in the outer world. That's how we avoid that. We don't have to have any kind of apocalyptic events. We really don't. There will be no World War III. The red button doesn't work. We are not blowing up this game. There are way too many beings involved. It's not just us humans. It's our souls. It's our higher selves. Everybody's playing this game with us, through us, watching us. So the apocalypse that blows it up, not happening. Now, if y'all want to stay in 3D, which hopefully nobody here listening to me is going to stay in 3D, not our group, but you know, I had a boyfriend once that was a prepper. And I'd be like, well, while you're participating in your apocalypse, I'll be having fun over in Nirvana, right? Because I'm going up. And so we do not have to create any kind of apocalyptic situation. So I'm asking, what's the probability of that? Dear ones, the Palladian priestesses are saying, dear ones, at this current time, they're calling in the Atlantean priestesses and the Lemurian priestesses because, again, we did that apocalyptic thing. Not back then, but over there. Okay, remember, it's over there. And so, been there, done that. And all the priestesses, they're all standing behind me, and it feels so good. There's just like two Palladian, 2 Atlantean, and 2 Lemurian priestesses. And the 6 of them are standing behind me, and it's just like, but they're saying it really does not need to come to that. Understand that we are experiencing that in other realities that you could tune into if you wish, meaning all of humanity. I wouldn't recommend it because it doesn't feel good. But we will tell you that you have surpassed the Atlantean point. In fact, I remember, sorry, girls, if you hold on a second. I remember that when I still lived in Sedona, Molly McCord on her astrology podcast was talking about the something about Atlantis and Lemuria and how, and I was like, I was on my rebounder. I was bouncing on my treadmill, on my trampoline, listening to her. And she said that. And I'm like, oh, we passed that tipping point. We're never doing that again. And then she said that sentence next. And so that's the truth. We have far past the apocalyptic point of Atlantis and Lemuria, of Russia and nuclear war, of a lot of things. So you can hold those fears, not doing you any good, or you can hold the faith and trust that we passed it and it is not happening. And when I go back to the priestesses, no, dear one, understand, it is not in the trajectory of the majority of humans. It is simply no longer an option. Yes, you will still see the natural disasters. There is a grand rebalancing going on in your planet. So you will still see that, but it is within different groups for specific soul mission and soul contract purposes. But no, your apocalypse days are over. And we priestesses are always with you. If you wish to reconnect with your Atlantean lives and your Lemurian lives, you may do so. You may have the experience you wish by stepping into your Atlantean self or Lemurian self and remembering, or in a sense, reliving that scenario. And you have no need to bring it into this life. Okay. I want to know why some are orange and some are blue, these questions. Oh, thank you, everybody. Oh, I've never seen, well, this is my first live, so of course I've never seen it. Oh, so that's beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for sending that. Yeah. Oh, how fun. All I could see was colors on the other side, but frequency, I see colors all the time. Okay. Oh, we've gone over an hour. How many questions do we have left?
2.
Okay. Tell me.
Essentially. Okay, this is about animals and why do they keep agreeing to incarnate on Earth? Knowing that they will experience a horrific abuse at the hands of humans.
Sometimes. I mean, we don't abuse our pets. I don't know. I think Luna, my cat, she gets a little abusive sometimes. You know, she'll stand on my chest or wake me up with a paw down my face. But okay, pets. Understand that the people that say you're a bug and then the next life you're a cat and the next life no, you can be whatever you want. I see kind of frequently that people in this life, like a big one is that a pet in this life was a beloved in last life, or a beloved in this life was the warrior's horse in a past life. And remember, past life, it's over there, right? It's not past, present. It's not past, present, future. It is kitchen, living room, dining room. Okay. Parallel simultaneous realities. And they're all connected by the lines. I see the lines that connect everything. We are moving from line to sphere. And I'll do a podcast on that soon, how we're moving from lines to spheres, particles and waves. But so first of all, when you're on the other side, and someone wrote a book, I don't know if it was Neil Donald Walsh or Wayne Dyer, wrote a book maybe 15 years ago. And I think maybe it was called like Little Star, and it's a children's book. And it's about this little star wants to go down to Earth to experience, being lost or not feeling connected to God or whatever. And everyone's like, whoa, I'm not going down with you. And then this other big star says, I will go down with you so you can have that experience. I'm really paraphrasing. Go look up the book. It's really cool. But that's what we do. Everything sounds fun. I always joke that souls are hanging out going, hey, let's incarnate and eat chili cheese dogs and then ride the roller coaster. Because then we get down there and we're like, dude, what did you contract? I'm going to die. Like it's the human is like, what on earth? But the souls just think it's a great experience. They're fascinated by everything. So when beings come in as our pets, that doesn't mean that there are pets in other lives. They could be human in other lives. We could be their pet in other lives. I can say this, I think, without crying, because, I lost my little guy a month ago, Boo. We named him Butch so he could be manly, but he was a little shit poo. So Boo is what we called him. And we lost him right before my birthday at the beginning of December. And the first day, right after we left the crematorium, he was showing me that he was running around playing with Anne, my best friend, in heaven. But the next day, all of a sudden, he was this young guy. And I was like, what? And he told me the first day, I'm going to find you love. And I'm like, don't find me another dog. Like, dude, you've been gone 10 minutes. Like, I don't want another dog. Not right now. We do already have a big dog. And so I was like, not yet. And the next day he came in and he was this just beautiful young man. maybe in his 20s. And he's like, understand that I am your beloved in many other lives. And I was your beloved in this life. And now that I have exited, I can bring you your next beloved. And it was just amazing. It was really weird to see my dog as a dude, as a guy, and a young guy. And I've had many conversations with him. So understand that pets can be anything in other lives, including human, including family members, including beloveds, partners. And why do they incarnate? Honestly, it's no different, pets or humans. Think of all of the Jews in World War II. Why did they incarnate for that? Why did they participate in that? And you can say they didn't have a choice. On a soul level, that's a soul contract. They all wrote that out before they came in here, And so whether it's pets or people, some people write horrific soul contracts. They're horrific to you and I. They're not horrific upstairs, because you are God and you are infinite and you cannot die. You cannot be killed. This is just an experience. If you go to a movie that looked really promising and you end up walking out of it, we do that sometimes when we're watching the home decor shows on YouTube, and my mom's listening and I'm like, this woman is so boring. Until she takes an acting class, I can't do it. And I have to turn the channel off because I'm going to fall asleep. And so you would just walk out of the movie. So it wasn't the experience that you enjoyed. That's the same. Souls are like, I want to experience abuse so that I can return to self-love, so that I can be a beacon of strength for others when I change my situation. They don't see it as horrific. Nothing's horrific because they're God and they're infinite. So pets do often come in to help us with our soul contracts, with our life paths, and they do take a lot of abuse, and so do humans. Okay. And so that happens. It is here to teach us to return to love. Always return to love. But remember that your pet in this life, my horse is my daughter's warrior beloved in another life. When we rescued him, I was like, damn, okay, he's yours, even though he's going to be mine. Like, amazing,
What's this little doggy running down the road for?
Oh, it's the neighbor.
Okay.
My neighbors have a healer, and to get him exercise, they drive around the country roads and let the dog chase the truck, because I live out in the country. You can do that then. So that's what just happened. Yep. Okay. Next question.
Okay.
I know we're going over. We'll stop at an hour and a half. If you got to go, thank you for joining me, but I'll go a few more questions.
Okay. So how do we know that our abilities of communication with the divine are being interfered with purposefully for divine growth, or just being mean and trying to deter us from our purpose and abilities? So
okay. So our communication with the divine is being deterred by others. If it isn't beautiful and positive, it's not the divine. It's not angels. It's not guides. If it doesn't feel good, then you're not connecting to who you think you are. And I personally don't do any work with demons or entities or attachments. I mean, have I seen attachments? Oh yeah. We attach to others. We attach to patterns. Others hook into us. I've had a couple of times where it's happened that I couldn't shake it loose, and I had to call a friend and go, can you get this off of me? Because I can feel it, but for some reason I can't disconnect. So does all that stuff happen? Yes. I don't do sessions concerning black magic or what's it called? Possessions, anything like that. I stay away from that. Most of the time, what you're calling demons is your own ego minds, is your own pattern. It is patterns coming through from trauma in this life, from trauma and events in other lives, other earth lives. So if it doesn't feel good, then you tell them to leave. You say, this is not it, because angels would never talk to you like that. You know what I do is I always say, I connect. I am a multidimensional being of unconditional love and divine light. I just said that in the January podcast. The archangels gave me that years ago. So I'm a multidimensional being of unconditional love and divine light. I only connect with other multidimensional beings of unconditional love and divine light. If you're not that, can't touch this. So I say, can't touch this. Go away. I banish them and they go away. And what's really difficult, what I find really difficult sometimes is I get people that say, well, I did that and they're still here and it's still giving me nightmares and it's still said with love. You're letting it in. You are doing this.
They should come see me.
There you go. Chloe said, go see her because she can really help you with that. She's an amazingly powerful healer. She has Reiki'd my horses, my pets, my family, my property. I did not realize when I bought this property, didn't think to look at the history, and wow, it had a lot. And so, yeah, she is a powerful healer. I usually stay galactic, cosmic, stuff like that, do soul coaching. But yeah, you can go to Chloe Petalino, Source Within, because I don't do that work. But understand, if you are connecting in and it is angry or violent or nightmarish, or they're saying mean things, or they're telling you to do mean things, you are not connecting to the divine and you need to shut that out. Say, nuh-uh, that is not happening. And if you believe that you are saying that and it's still happening, you got to dive deeper into why you're allowing it to happen, because it wouldn't happen if you cut it off. And I'm not saying, the answer to that is, trust me, I don't want to wake up with a demon sitting on my chest and I can't breathe. I didn't ask for this. Yes, but you're still allowing it to happen. So why are you letting it in? What trauma, what patterns, why are you letting it in? Why is it not cut off? And I do find that going to someone else to help with that is often really good. Like I said, I've had a couple of times where I saw the attachment, couldn't pull it out, and got help with it, so it's always easier to let someone help us heal than to just always heal ourselves. So you can ask for help, but the thing to come away with here is, if it isn't love and beautiful and positive, it's not the divine. So tell them to go away. This is why it's so important to start looking at energy signatures, to feel the energy signature. When I was new and Archangel Michael finally told me who he was, I can't tell you how many times like the Greys tried to be him and people would try to be him and everyone would try to hack into my system. And it happened a lot in the beginning. But I know Michael's energy signature. I work on energy signatures. It's like a thumbprint. You cannot change that. And I'm like, dude, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you're masking. You don't feel like Michael, not doing it. You can go. Can't touch this. I banish them every single time. So feel the energy signature, okay? Because it should always be beautiful and loving and supportive. All righty. Anything else? What time do we have?
Yeah.
15 minutes.
3 more. What do the whales and dolphins have to do with Ascension?
Oh, I love them. Yes, they're leftovers from Lemuria. Huh? Oh, whales and dolphins. Sorry. What do whales and dolphins have to do with Ascension? Leftovers from Lemuria. Unicorns, dolphins, a lot of other beautiful non-human beings in Lemuria, a lot of that. So whales and dolphins, really, whales more so than dolphins. Dolphins are the coyotes of the ocean. They are very playful, trickster energy, really smart. Dolphin, they're two different things. So dolphins really help my Lemurian self. I call him Nick. So if you don't get a name, just name him, just so you have something to call him. So I call him Nick. My 7th dimensional Lemurian self is saying that the dolphins help speed up time, help get us to decisions. They really build everything and climax everything quickly. And so they are here to help us with Ascension by keeping us rolling and getting us to the point. They do that a lot. And being the trickster in the fun energy keeps us lighthearted. But understand, dolphins, I hate saying this, dolphins have a vicious streak now that they did not have in Lemuria. They also have, they're quite dualistic in our reality. They weren't so much in Lemuria, especially in the higher dimensions. But dolphins help speeding up time, speeding up our soul contracts, our lessons, getting us to the end, graduating, move on to the next thing. Whales, on the other hand, whales are Gaia's little pet. Lemurian is showing me like Mother Earth walking a whale on a leash. The picture's in my head. The whales really hold space. The whales work so closely with Gaia, with Mother Earth, and they really hold space. They can hold a tremendous amount of frequency. And again, like that pet question, a lot of animals agreed. Well, the whole animal kingdom, plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, everyone agreed to play the game for us. This is our game. They're all playing so we can have our experience. The whales agreed to play the game with us because as they hold space, they are a beautiful indicator of the destruction that we're wreaking on the earth, right? Ocean pollution and losing their birthing grounds, Nick's saying. And so the whales really hold space. When you tune into whales, and I have a friend in Sedona, Light Star Creations, look her up on YouTube. She does light language for everybody and anybody. And she'll have on her YouTube channel, dolphin light language and whale light language. And so when you really want to merge into Gaia, you can go through tree roots, or you can just listen to whale light language and tune in. You can merge your heart with the whale's heart and really feel how vast the universe really is. It's beautiful. So every animal has their role. Every plant has their role in our game. But whales and dolphins, yes, Lemurian beings, and they're doing a lot for us in this life too.
Okay, two
What
more.
else? Uh-huh.
Will some of the world leaders and other organization leaders be exposed for working with or being manipulated by some of the darker entities?
Okay. Will world leaders be exposed for being manipulated by darker energies? Here's the thing. It's usually co-creation. It's not so much being manipulated. If any president takes a stand and says, man, the Greys brainwashed me and that's why I did this. No, no, it's an active choice. Because if the Greys told me to do this, I'd be like, go away, guys, not happening. There's a difference when your partner manipulates you into making their favorite dinner and dark entities are manipulating you into killing somebody. That is a level of choice that you co-created. I mean, yes, we can get into the whole mental illness and everything like that, but we won't, but it's more co-creation. So let me break it down.
Will they be exposed to
Yes.
co-creating them?
Yes. So will world leaders be exposed? Yes. What happens is, this is what the dragons have been showing us. The more we empower ourselves, the more we expand our frequency, and the more we don't take it anymore. Remember Black Lives Matter. Remember when COVID started and everybody was marching and everybody was like, you're not doing that. You can't make me take the shot. All of that backlash, all of that rising up. That's going to happen again this year and next year, but on a more loving level. We don't need the violence to say, no, thank you, not doing that anymore. So will they be exposed? Yes, many of them will. Did we already know they were doing this awful stuff? Yeah, we already knew. It's the fact that we aren't taking it anymore and we're taking a stand and we're saying no. That's why they won't be able to do it anymore. But will a lot of things come to light? Oh yeah, whistleblowing gonna be a big thing this year, a big thing, because we can start stepping forward more. We have more divine protection to step forward and speak the truth, but also it's part of ascension. We have to wake up to the control and manipulation and step into our empowerment if we want to get to 5D and stay there. So yeah, they will be exposed. Whether they're being manipulated or co-creating, I see it's co-creating. Some of it, okay, being manipulated, when you want more power and more money, yeah, you're more easily manipulated, you know? And so they're being manipulated by their own choice. Now, as far as dark entities or other beings interfering in our ascension and stuff like that, I've heard things about that from other channelers. I don't go that direction because what I know is our higher selves, all of the higher dimensional aliens that are around our plasma sphere, that are in our atmosphere in their starships, all of those beings are here for our ascension. Instead of looking at as there's dark beings that are going to try to shift us into apocalypse or they're going to land and take us over. No, they're not, because my higher selves aren't going to let them. Like, that ain't happening. So instead of doing those apocalyptic thoughts and having those fears, you go into, we are safe, we are protected, we are provided for, we are being supported in ascension, and anyone of lower frequency is not getting through. What is that? Not Ring Around Rosie. Remember when all the kids hold hands and one in the middle tries to run through, but he's got to break your two hands?
Red Rover.
Yeah, Red Rover. There you go. So it's like that. All of our higher selves are in a circle around us and they're not getting in. So you want to ascend, drop those thoughts. Send love to all of the politicians, all the government agencies. Even if they're doing something terrible, send love, send compassion, send peace. And keep focused on your dream world of equality, of prosperity. And we're going to start seeing it. Yeah. Okay.
Last one, I believe. I've been told that my energies can be a bit intense and heavy while I'm working. Have you been told this? How did you explain this intensity about the dragon angelic energies you work with?
Okay, so they've been told that when they're doing healing work, their energy can get really intense or really heavy. First of all, some people can.
It's healing work or not.
Oh, just when they're doing their work, their energy gets intense and heavy. Intense can be mistaken for heavy. I will say this: when I would do vortex journeys in Sedona, which is out on the land with people, so I'm in person with them, there were many times that I had to step back another 2 feet, get out of their emotional field, out of their energy field totally, because my energy is really intense all the time, not just in session. And it can really overwhelm somebody. So while I'm working with somebody, I'm also gauging the energy field. And if I'm having too much of an effect, if I'm steamrolling them. And so there are times where I have to step back. There are times where clients would step back, and not know why, so yeah, get out of their emotional field and then get out of their energy field. And then they won't be so overwhelmed by your energy. Are there times I turn it down? Maybe once or twice in my life. I don't like turning it down. I'm me. I would rather step back so it's not blasting you, but I don't want to turn my volume down. I mean, said with love, if you don't like it, then leave. Like, I don't know how to say it. This is me. It's beautiful, intense energy. If it's too much, I'll get up from the couch and sit in a chair. Like if I'm hanging out, I don't have friends that say it's too much for me. But if it's too much, we watched something on YouTube yesterday, Jimmy on relationships, talking about narcissism and relationships. He is fabulous. Jimmy on relationships. He's fabulous to watch because it can improve your communication, conscious communication, and improve relationships in every facet of life. But the video we watched after a really long workday, it was really intense. And when it was done, I'm like, okay, I'm full. I realized I got to step back. And so we just watch more lighthearted stuff after that. So it all depends, but I do not apologize for my tidal wave energy, but I do keep my awareness of it because it is never my intention to drown you. So I'll step back if I need to. So you go with your energy. If people feel that it's really heavy, what they don't understand is it's really intense and it's shaking them up and it's making them look at stuff they don't want to. And that may not be your job. So you can just step back. Okay, what time is it? 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. Anything else?
One person did ask more about 5D and wondering where they can find more information about 5D.
Okay, so
To get signs that they need to stay in 5D, but she's just not sure about.
So if you're not sure what 5D is, can you get more information on 5D? You can research fifth dimension and 5D and get all kinds of information. Listen to all kinds of podcasts. What resonates with you, what doesn't. The definition of 5D is a more expanded state of being. There's more love, there's more happiness. My 5D world, which I can easily bilocate to, and I do sometimes. In fact, I realized months after I bought this place that this is a very good replica of my 5D. The lake is a lot closer and the home is log, but I almost created a replica of my 5D world when I moved from Sedona. I thought that was fascinating when it finally dawned on me. So it's an expanded state of being, an expanded state of awareness. Now, we're still humanoid. For me in my 5D world, we don't need money. Things are instantaneous. So, you can just give freely. I went to the market with my friends one day in my 5D world, and this woman gave me a scarf. And because I was still being 3D Tracy in my 5D world, she gave me a scarf, and I said, that is beautiful, but I don't wear scarves because I have that whole claustrophobia from my Egyptian life. Scarves still kind of freak me out. And so I said, it's beautiful, but I don't wear scarves. And she just held it up. It was like a knitted scarf. She held it up and it turned into a knitted, like cardigan, like scarf, wrap thing. Yeah. Like a shawl. And it was beautiful. And I'm like, oh my God. And I just watched it transmute into this. And I was like, that's beautiful. And I took it and put it on. And I said, what do I owe you? She's like, you owe me nothing. And I said, well, how do I pay for this? And she's like, there is no payment. Your love is the payment. You love this. And I loved creating it for you. So there is instant manifestation. You know who talks about this? Robert Monroe. Monroe Institute and Hemisync. Robert Monroe wrote, I think, 3 books in the 70s. Blow your mind. I mean, I read them in the early 2000s, blew my mind. And he talks about instant manifestation and meeting his higher versions of self and stuff. Those are fascinating books. So 5D, expanded state of being. In 5D, we do not have to eat. We can drink this nectar that can keep us going, but we often choose to cook and eat. And there is still people eating animals in 5D. I was vegan for over 25 years. And when I moved to Sedona, my body started asking for meat. So I do eat meat now. But in 5D, some people choose to eat meat. Some people choose to eat vegetarian. Some people choose just the nectar, which can be squeezed from these really beautiful flowers that look like something Hawaiian. I don't know what they are, but they give the nectar. It's whatever anyone wants. It's the experience you choose. It's much more about community and love. And when you don't have a barter system, it changes everything. So for those of you that are bilocating into your 5D lives, you can leave comments about what 5D is like for you. But the big thing you have to know, what's 5D? How do I get there? How do I stay there? 5D is expanded love, expanded awareness. It's a higher state of being. So how do you get there? Think happy thoughts, do happy things, lead with love and compassion, and again, when you fall off that pedestal, get back on and do something loving. I said in one of the podcasts, when I go to Walmart to get groceries, I am very reclusive, I guess you'd say. And so when I go out just to be friendly to people, I will just pick random people and give compliments. Oh my gosh, I love your shoes. They are so fun. Or girl, your hair is fabulous. I'll just do random compliments in Walmart because it covers up the heartburst because I'm blasting people, but it helps me spread 5D and it helps me stay in 5D. So yeah, you can research and read a lot. It's just an expanded state of being. And 60, 70, eighth dimension, ninth dimension. Sure, we go from dualistic to androgynous to formless, no body, just mist. We keep expanding into those higher dimensions. You can bilocate to all of them. You can merge with all of those higher selves. You can do that and you can experience it, because many of the clients I work with, like E in the very beginning, talking about 5D, she's in like seventh, eighth dimension most of the time. I mean, that woman is just a world leader in dimensional states of being. And so a lot of times you'll be way higher. So yeah, and then you just settle in 5D. Okay. I think that is it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone that donated. That was beautiful. But thank you to everyone that just showed up. Whether you had questions or not, this was my first live, and I'm approaching 5,000 subscribers. I don't know if I'm there. I was at 4,980 this morning when I woke up. So I'm getting very close. While it's not an easy journey often for me, the YouTube journey, I am so grateful for it. Because I get to share so much of the universal wisdom and knowledge with you. So I really hope it's helping your ascension. And I'm so grateful you're joining me. And keep commenting questions and sharing with our community here what ascension is for you. Have you met dragons? How you work with the archangels? Anything, questions and shares, because we're doing it. And this is a big, big year of ascension. Yeah. So thank you very much.